to my dear students and parents. I, Suchitra Tripathi, on behalf of Mount Literacy School Bar, welcome to you to the session of 2020-21. My dear students and respected parents, this year, this session will be a milestone in history, and we all will be the characters of it. Amidst this pandemic of COVID-19, we, Mount Literacy School Bar, are very considerate about our students' learning and their future. We will utilize this opportunity to develop better parent-child, teacher-student, and school-parents relations through these interactive lessons. Okay, children, before we start with our chapter, do you know what does the word COVID means? Since I am your science teacher, I will never leave you with many questions to think. But here I will end your queries. COVID-19 means CO is corona, V is virus, E is infectious, D is disease, and 19 is the year 2019 in which this disease started spreading over China. So children and parents, let's move a giant step forward to a new era of e-learning. So we are going to start the first chapter of science in standard 7, that is nutrition in plants. So our first query will be, what is nutrition and nutrients? Trust me children, these are no new terms for you. Only they may be like coronavirus, novel coronavirus, but you know these terms very well. So my first question is, what do we mean by the term nutrients? It's a very easy term, and to find the answers you will have to recall your chapter 2, that is components of food, in chapter 6. Very correct. Nutrients are nothing more than the components in your food. So what are nutrients? Nutrients are the component of food which are necessary for our body. Now tell me, my dear students, what are the functions of these nutrients? We have already studied in the previous class. So we will list the functions of the nutrients, which are as follows. Number 1, nutrients provide energy. Now they are providing you a lot of energy to do lots of play and work along with your parents in the house. They help in growth, certainly. When we'll be meeting after this long lockdown, I'm sure I'll notice a good growth in all of you. They help in repair of damaged parts, like when you play, you get hurt or wounded. So these nutrients, they help you to repair those wounds. And the most important, they help fight infectious diseases. Now these days you are listening a lot that there are only 2 ways to get rid of this coronavirus infectious disease 19, that is COVID-19. How? First is, we all are following, and I hope you all are following, lockdown, 21 days lockdown, and another one is to take a good diet, to take a food which is rich in nutrients, which will help us fight this disease. So just I want you to recall, what are the different components in our food? So did it come to your mind? Very good. These nutrients are carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins and minerals. And just a recall that carbohydrates and fats are the nutrients which give energy. Proteins are responsible for bodybuilding, and vitamins and minerals are the agents which help fight the infectious diseases. So we will just recall once again what are the functions of the nutrients in our diet. Nutrients provide energy. So this is you, all full of energy. Nutrients help in growth. The last picture, the one in yellow t-shirt, is you after the vacations. Nutrients repair the damaged parts. Now can you see the little fairy over the knees of the boy? Well, what is this fairy? This is the nutrient in your food. This is the vitamin. This is the mineral. This is the protein in your diet which will help in the repair of these wounds. And then the most important, nutrients help fight infectious diseases. So this big face with sword and a shield is you, and those colorful creatures, those are microorganisms which are all coming charged up to get you ill and very ill. But the sword and the shield in this picture are the nutrients in our diet which will not allow these disease causing germs to enter your body. Now can you recognize where is coronavirus in this? Yes, I'm using it again and again so that we will become precautious about the steps to follow to remain healthy. More or less, the green figure in this image looks like a coronavirus. So we move to the next topic, which says, what is nutrition? Now, this is also a very simple term which you all keep on doing every time. It's that easy. Eating food. Nutrition is nothing, only eating food. But only writing that nutrition is eating food is not a complete answer. It's just the understanding of the concept that nutrition is eating food. But if you go by a proper definition, nutrition is mode of taking food and the process of its utilization in the body. Like when we eat food, our body digests it to give us carbohydrates and fat for energy, to utilize protein for growth and repair, to use vitamins and minerals to fight infectious disease. So now another question which should come into your mind is, from where do the living things obtain food? Now you all know that plants can make their own food, but animals obtain their food either by eating plants or other animals. Now just recall, how do we categorize the animals on the basis of their eating habits? We will come to this point later in the presentation. Keep on thinking about that green question. How do we categorize the animals based on their eating habits? So we will summarize what is nutrition. Nutrition is process of taking in food and its utilization in the body. So these are the 4 children which are doing nutrition. But I have a query, and probably you, my dear students, you can solve it. Which is the better way of nutrition? There are 4 pictures And I will say that two of them are properly taking nutrition, whereas two of them I don't support their way of nutrition. Or if I say two pictures are showing good nutrition and rest two are showing not so very good nutrition. You're correct. The bottom two pictures where we can see a girl having salad, a piece of fish or piece of meat along with some fruits and a glass of water. And properly she is using knife and fork to take hygienic food. And in the second picture at the bottom we can see there is a boy who's taking a soup with fruits and milk, and also he is using spoon to take the nutrition. Above two boys, above two pictures, they are first of all not having the proper food, they are using junk foods and they are not following the hygiene also. So nutrition is process of taking in food and its utilization in the body. But the important thing is how we should take the nutrition. We should take proper nutrition and we should take a hygienic nutrition. Again we will see in this picture that entire family is sitting together to take the nutrition. Best utilization of this lockdown. I request you parents to please sit with your children and do your breakfast, lunch and dinner together. It will create a great bonding and harmony in the relation. This is the perfect time to develop the family bondings which we fail to develop because of the rush of our jobs. So nutrition is process of taking food and its utilization in the body, but properly sitting together, because a family which sits together, a family which eats together always stays together. Now, based on the nutrition, we have studied about what is nutrients and nutrition. Now, based on the types of nutrition, there are two modes of nutrition. Types of nutrition means on the method how these organisms take their food. How do they obtain their food? Or how do they eat their food? Or simply, how do they get their food? On the basis of that, we have two modes of nutrition. Autotrophic mode of nutrition and number two, heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Organisms which have autotrophic mode of nutrition are called as autotrophs, and organisms which have heterotrophic mode of nutrition are called as heterotrophs. We will study these terms one by one in the upcoming slides. So children, how many types of nutrition are there? Yes, two. Number one, autotrophic, and number two, heterotrophic. Very good. Clap for yourself. So we move into the meaning of the term autotrophic. It is derived from two terms, auto and trophos. As you can see in the presentation, auto means self. Self-start. You all have bikes, car, scooty. You are very well acquainted with the term auto. Self-start button, auto start button. So autotrophic, auto means self. Trophos means nourishment. So what is autotrophic mode of nutrition, or what are autotrophs? Organisms which can take or make its own nutrition is termed as autotrophic. Can you see the picture? What is it? It's a green plant. So we can say that the mode of nutrition in which an organism can take or make its own nutrition is termed as autotrophic. Now, can you recall which organisms we call as producers? Right, these are the plants, and plants are called as autotrophs. Well done. Give a huge round of applause for yourself. Next, we move to the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. It is also made up of two terms: hetero, which means other; trophos means nourishment. Heteros is antonym, or you can say opposite of auto. Hetero means other. So, what will be the definition? The mode of nutrition in which an organism cannot take or make its own nutrition is termed as heterotrophic. Can you recall which organisms we call as consumers? Right, all animals are heterotrophs. Well, here you deserve another round of applause. Before my teaching, you know what are producers and what are consumers. So we know producers are plants, consumers are animals. Only you have to learn two new terms. Producers or plants are also called as autotrophs because they have autotrophic mode of nutrition. Consumers or animals, including we humans, are heterotrophs, or we have heterotrophic mode of nutrition because we depend on plants and other animals for taking food. Like we eat the plant products, we cook them according to our needs, according to our taste. But who is producing the food? Plant. Similarly, we utilize the milk from cow, we eat the eggs from hen, we eat the chicken and the mutton. So we are not producing the food. We are more or less modifying the food which was already prepared by the plant. Even if we are eating animals, those animals are eating what? Plants. So who's the sole source of food in the world? Plants. Very good. So we come to the summarization of the topic, that is nutrition in plants is of two types: autotrophic, or we can say nutrition is of two types: autotrophic and heterotrophic. Autotrophic, where the organism can prepare their own food from the raw materials. Heterotrophic, where the animals or the organisms cannot prepare food from raw materials. They take food from plants and other animals. So here you can see, again I had asked you a green question. How do we classify the animals based on their eating habits? So here is the answer in the blue, red and yellow boxes. Herbivores, plant eaters; carnivores are the meat eaters; and omnivores eat both plants and animals. Based on the above learning, there is a very important question: differentiate between autotrophs and heterotrophs. So, autotrophs are the organisms which make their own food. Heterotrophs cannot make their own food. They must obtain energy from outside sources. Autotrophs include plants, some protists and bacteria. Protists are protozoa, which we will be learning in the coming chapters. And heterotrophs includes animals, fungi, some bacteria. We will also learn later in the chapter that there are some plants also which are called as heterotrophs. Yes, plants. They are plants, then also they are heterotrophs. That's the mystery which we will unfold by the end of this chapter. So children, note down the important points. You can pause the video and write the important points, and I'll come up a questionnaire again and you will have to answer them. So this is the end for today's session. In the next session, we will study about the process of photosynthesis, because of which the plants are called as autotrophs. Take care. Have a good day.